So from my last post where I was talking about how 20 and 30-year-olds can take advantage of this recession, how you can get started investing and kind of get your investment rolling, right, to get as wealthy as possible. A lot of people have been asking me, well, what in the world do I invest in, right? What should I invest in during this time? Should I be buying Bitcoin ETFs? Should I be buying what index funds? Like, what is an index fund? And this is basically what I would tell them. If you're trying to invest in this time to secure your future, to make your money turn into more money, is you want to stick to large index funds that are going to basically, essentially, historically, guarantee your retirement. This is what I'm doing. This is what I have been doing ever since I started working in the workforce at 23. And I think the majority of people should stick to large cap index funds that are focused on growth. Now, if you think about it, if you're in your 20s and your 30s, or early 30s, you probably need to grow your money more than everything. When you go onto these platforms, when you go onto Fidelity or Vanguard, you're going to have a lot of options. You're going to have bonds, you're going to have international funds, you're going to have domestic funds, you're going to have small, mid cap, large cap, all different versions of things you can invest in. I think the majority of people would be best off investing in just a large cap domestic S&P 500 or a large cap growth index fund, because these funds are going to keep you as safe as possible while also giving you as much growth as they possibly can. If we just take Fidelity, for example, here is a list. All you have to do is go onto Google and type in Fidelity Index Funds, or go into Google and type Vanguard Index Funds, right? You can do this for any brokerage. This is an example of all the funds that they have. Now, of this giant list, I think majority of these are garbage. They're too complicated, they're too specialized, they're not what you need. This is what I buy. You can buy the Vanguard one, the Fidelity one, whatever one, right? S&P 500, and I like large cap growth index. Now, S&P 500 is the top 500 companies in America. So if you buy this fund, you get a share of this fund, and they can change the stocks at any time. This really reduces your risk. Imagine if you take $1,000 and you go buy Apple, and then you take $1,000 and you go buy this index fund, okay? What could happen is that the person who buys just Apple can get more returns, but they also take more risk. Will Apple be around in 20 years when they're going to retire? The majority of companies do not last that long, okay? So that's one thing to always consider, is if you buy a stock, you might be at risk of that stock going bankrupt or not being around. Remember Sears, remember Cisco, remember all these big companies, right? They're not as prevalent as they are today, right? Like BlackBerry, right? So technology changes and stuff. This index fund, though, you're going to get a share of every company in the top 500. And then when a company falls out of the 500, they're going to put a new company there, and your share will go from this company to now this company. So it really limits your risk. Large cap growth I like because it's like the Apples, the Nvidias, the Teslas, the companies that are growing the most, like the Magnificent Seven.